Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth It Says by Elimi. We are going to be taking a look at how changing our thought pattern today can change our past and then change our future. In the last video, we spoke about how that there is no future but our present thoughts. Time is an illusion. The idea that things will change with time is illusionary. It is not true. If you depend on time to transform your life, to change your condition, you will remain in the same recurring cycle. Nothing will change. What changes your life is you changing your thoughts. It doesn't matter what condition you are going through right now. You must understand that there is a program that is making that condition possible. And that program is perpetually running and you are not conscious of it. The way you think is what you need to change, nothing else. A lot of the times we put in so much effort at trying to correct things externally. By trying to get a job, we want to make money. By trying to buy things for our children, we want to transform them. We want to get our lovers happy by taking them places and everything. But the truth is, all of these things are very good and they work well when the way you think about all of these things are changed. When your thoughts and your actions are coherent, then things work for you. How do you think? A lot of the times you don't know it. We don't know how we think. It's just something that runs at the background of our being, and it is the word autopilot that is used for it. Well, I am Osezwa Anthony Elimi. You know me. I am in the game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the dream. Let's look at a few things. Let's start with a very simple analogy, something that you might be able to connect with. Here's a book, all right? Here's a book. When I open a book to read, what happens to me is that my brain slows down and my eyes close. What is going on? My system is telling me it's time to pray. Why is it so? It's the same thing when I take food to eat. When I'm about to eat food, my brain's functions slow down and then my eyes close instinctively, and it's telling me it is time to pray. Why is it so? It's because at a very early age, in my preteen, from age 11, I had formed the habit of studying the Bible. And a pastor had told me that if I really wanted to know God, that I should read the teachings of the Master, the Lord Jesus Christ, in the New Testament. He told me, start from the book of Matthew, just read all the way down. You'll be able to understand the Lord better. I was a young Christian boy who was just entering secondary school. I took him very seriously because he was my beloved pastor. His name is James Onyenobi. He was leaving the branch to the city, and he felt that he was going to leave me alone and thought he needed to give me some good advice. And the advice he gave me was, study the Bible before you go to bed. Study the Bible when you wake up in the morning. And before you study the Bible, you must pray. Tell God you want to know Him. Tell God to reveal Himself to you from the pages of the Bible. It was a serious advice. I took it. This is what I did. If I picked the Bible, I would pray the famous prayer, which was, Lord, I'm about to read this book. I hope to see you. I hope to know you. I would be glad if you reveal yourself to me as you really are. I want to get to be like you. Reveal yourself to me, that I may know you and the power of your resurrection, the fellowship of your suffering, being made conformable unto your death. I prayed that prayer with the whole of my heart. and then I will open the Bible. I will start reading. Not only did I finish the entire New Testament, I also took the Bible from Genesis and I read it down every single day of my life. Before age 11, I had become a binge reader. I had been reading all the supplementary readers, even as far as reading Things Fall Apart and all those things. By this time, I had converted that textual hunger into Bible reading. Not just the Bible, but including Bible literatures. I would not read a word on any of these books without praying first. Over time, it turned out that anytime I picked any book at all to read, my brain activities will slow down. And then my eyes will be closing for prayer. And then I will pray. It became an automatic operation. At the university, it was the in thing. I wouldn't read any matter without praying first. In my late 20s, I became very, very research-oriented on spiritual matters. I was seeking the truth from everything I would come across. Then in my 30s, I became irreligious. I got fed up with religion and I packed everything up. Now, even then, if I picked a book to read, that operation would happen. My brain will slow down and everything will come down to that level where I would want to pray. It continued, but I began to ignore that impulse. Did you know what happened? My capacity to read deep, far, long period, marathon kind of reading began to dwindle. What had happened? Something was not right. The mind felt that I was not prepared to read, so it was not following me on the line. So somehow along the line, I took it on. I returned to my normal prayer, but not in the way I used to pray as a Christian boy. I changed my prayer pattern. But what I'm trying to say here is that mind learns to do things by habituation. If you do things over and over again, it forms a groove in the system and mind loves the groove. It just wouldn't go elsewhere. We follow that pattern. This is how expertise is generated. Now, what are we talking about? Thoughts. Something you have done over and over again becomes your thought pattern and mind follows it. It becomes auto. It doesn't take permission from you to do those things. Besides habituation, there is another way that mind can be programmed to do things, and that is called shock. See, when a human being encounters shock, something that shakes their foundation, that person at that moment of shock is wide open to programming. This is why in Africa, when somebody is undergoing shock from a bad news, people around that person keep quiet, don't say any word. They just calm down. And if at all they are going to say anything, to be something that is healthy, not negative, not something that will form a pattern in the person's life that is negative. So they stay calm. You could hear somebody say, okay, my sister, my brother, it's all right. You are doing well. It is well with you. It is not the end of the world. You still have the power. You still have the strength. You can overcome this because you are tough, because you are strong. They start talking to that person in a positive light. What are they doing? They are programming this person at that time to be able to overcome that particular challenge. That's why they say if you don't have anything good to say at that period, shut up, don't say a word, because the life of a human being is at your hand. You could deform that person or transform that person that moment. Many ignorant people don't understand it. They begin to talk anyhow, and that person is programmed for the negative. It's the same thing that happens to a girl who was the head girl of the school, and she was thought to be very intelligent, and everybody respected her intelligence and academic prowess. She was heading the school's debating society and everything. But guess what? By the time she was in her late 20s, she was no longer intelligent. She was just ordinary. She was flat. Her self-esteem became very low, and her zest for anything academic petered out. What happened? She wrote an exam, the final exams, this called, WASC. and the result came out. She didn't pass English and mathematics, and that was a major blow to her. In as much as she garnered a few A's and B's and some C's, still, for the fact that she was not qualified to take JAMB and proceed to the university, it destroyed, it devastated her self-esteem. All the praises that the school and everyone had been heaping on her was damaged. How did it happen? When she saw the results, there was this shock that came over her. She walked away to the principal's car park and started hitting the wall and said, "Oh, is this what you are? You are fake. You are not as good as they thought you are." She started saying negative things about herself. There was no adult. There was nobody there to caution her and say, "Stop." No way. She just kept on ranting against herself. By that action, she had programmed herself for the low life. And that was it. So when her appetite for studies and academics began to dwindle, nobody knew the origin. It took interventions of experts in matters of this nature to take her to the point at which she made that decision and to return her to the present moment. You see, a lot of us are living in the past, the moment where we were traumatized, the moment when things that were very negative happened to us. What was our response at that time? It is key. So this is why I beg people, and you that are watching this video right now, there's a reason you are watching it. I beg you, when things happen to you and you are in a state of shock, you are not happy, don't pass any judgments. Relax, because you are about to degrade your life if you don't say the right thing. Shock opens up the subconscious gateway and allows anything that is said or done around the person at that time to go straight into that person as a program. Now, how do you respond to certain things? There are people who, when they pray for certain things, they make that prayer in relation to time. They hope that, oh, let me give it 3 months, 3 weeks, all of that, 4 months, all of that, because they believe that time will make that thing come to them. Let me tell you this, time does not solve anything. Time cannot make your miracle happen. Miracle does not respect time. Miracles can happen right now. The concept of time is what it takes you to come to the knowledge of what you need to do to get that result. It's not because time is going to groom it to happen. It is you. You are time, you are miracles, you are results. All you need to do is to focus on yourself and do the work. The work is taking out negative patterns. Now, this is how it goes to clear patterns. If there are certain things you've been desiring that you have not had for a period of time now, you've been desiring these things that have not been happening. And when they don't happen, ask yourself a simple question. What is my thinking? Maybe not thinking, I will use feeling to guide it, because thinking is very hard to find when it has become a program. So the first thing is to use feeling. You ask yourself, what is my feeling about this thing? You see, negative results over and over again teaches somebody faith in negativity. I did it before, it didn't work. I did like 5, 6, 7 times, it didn't work, therefore it's not going to work. That is habituation. Mind has taken all the instances of non-deeds to become the real deeds. Your pattern should not be that which reduces you. Now, this is what I said, that do not allow events in your life to be your definer. If good things are happening to you, don't embrace them. Don't see them as the basis of your being, because good and bad happens. When the bad things, in quotes, happen, do not allow them to define your life, because if you do, you have opened up yourself to suffering. That's because you are holding on to things that are not permanent. You are holding on to things that are changeable. And when they change, the space where you kept them will become empty and hollow. And then on the basis of that, you find emptiness. When you become empty, suffering begins. Suffering is actually emptiness discovered by the person. Emptiness on one hand, and the second hand is that somebody discovers that he or she or they are incapable. When you discover that you are incapable, a huge sin has just been uncovered. Because anybody that feels that they are incapable are actually denying the power of their source. If you have faith in yourself, you have faith in your source, your creator. But when you have no faith in yourself, you are detracting from your creator. There is no sin that can be equated with that. It's a bad thing. So learn to have faith in yourself. Do not allow your experiences, those grooves that you have formed from past time, to affect you. The truth again is that if you do not change your own thought, which you can discover from feelings, you won't be able to transform your life. Your thoughts are the ones generating the life pattern. We call them thoughts just to be generalistic, but the truth is that they are programs. When a thought has crashed through the subconscious gateway, it becomes a program. And this is why I say you should look back to all the experiences you have had around money, all the experiences you have had around relationships, all the experiences you have had around health. In the past, moments of traumas exist for them at certain points. Now, what you need to do is to now cancel those moments. There is that regression to the past and start canceling them. It's a very time-consuming process. There are so many things like that. Going back to start canceling all the past moments of negativity where traumas hit you and start taking them out has two flaws. The first one is that how are you able to discover all of them? Most of them are subconscious, you won't know. Even if you're able to remember all of them, you won't be able to remember exactly what you said at that time, because a program does not register as memory. It registers as a program. So it's not memory. You can't remember it. Now, even if you remember everything, it is time consuming to start dislodging them. The second thing about a program, that once you hit a negative program, it is very resistive. Once you hit it, it can just grab you and zoom you in and go back to start reliving the experience, and you forget the moment. That's what it does. It's very seductive, very powerful. It's just like some people, funny people in those days. You have a very overbearing mother who doesn't want you as the son to keep marrying this particular woman. He says you must leave this woman and get another wife. This woman is a devil, she's this. And then what they do is that they try to keep you away from the woman because they realize that you love the woman. They say the woman has given you, some charms. So you want to go and tell the woman, I'm not going to marry you again, I'm fed up. Because your mother has told you, you are being guided. You walk into the room where the woman is, and the woman gets up and says, what did you say, honey? And then she takes off her clothes. The man just gawks, and he's just there. He actually loves the woman, and he ends up whatever, and then the game is off. This is how programs function. When you come into contact with your program, you will not be in the business of trying to diffuse it. It will suck you in and you forget the present. It is what most people do when they are meditating. They sit to meditate and then programs start running, coming up, rousing, coming up, trying to dissuade them. And they just follow the program. That's the thought. They go away. That is the end. So people try to pray and they start pouring out all their woes. That is not prayer. What is actually happening is that it is not the person that is at function that moment. It is the programs that are pouring themselves out. They are blocking the person from accessing the source. So what is the right way to deal with past thoughts, past negativities? It's simple. Make a decision right now and stick with it. Define your life. I am a being of power. I am a being of peace. I embrace progress. I embrace power. I am higher than my environment. I am higher than my experiences. From this moment on, all things that pertain to life and godliness are welcomed by me. I am open to them. I choose a life of progress, a life of success. Now, you do that consistently. You do it in the morning as you are waking up. Remember the theta brainwave moment? That is the time to do that. You are just waking up. You are between sleep and wake. You say it with gusto. Say it with full intention. And then as you come up, of course, you do your gratitude journal. if you don't write it down, you can say it. Gratitude. I am grateful because a new day has come for me to transform my life. I have, continue the process. Do 10 things for which you are grateful for that new day, and then sit down to meditate. At this level, your vibration will become so high, and then you transcend the level of negativity. See, what you need to do, what will change your life and change your thinking pattern, is a matter of frequency. The more positive the thought, the higher its frequency. The more negative the thought, the lower its frequency. So, live that frequency. And the surest way to live frequency is, one, by affirmation. Affirm positively. The second one is gratitude. And then the biggest of them, well, they'll say the baba of them all, is meditation. Then keep yourself busy throughout the day so that you don't get sucked down, because that power, remember, he that is down needs yellow for you. Are the one up. They can easily pull you down negative thoughts. So what you do is that throughout the day, read contents that are rich in positivity. Look at a book like this. You see, when you read books like this, they will charge you up and keep you in a positive level. This is how we overcome our thoughts. This is how we overcome our past. Don't forget, every thought we think right now, they are not new. They are a pattern coming from the past. Whatever we think about anything right now is a record of past experiences. And these records, sadly, are not registered in our consciousness. They are at our subconscious level. So they are not memories. They are programs. The only way to easily diffuse program is to rise above the program. You have to be grateful. You have to put your focus, because those programs have been created by you focusing on the negative. So how you respond to events in your life henceforth is key to your success, is key to your breaking out of the old pattern. Remember the things: habituation and then shock. When you are undergoing shock, you are in a state of agony, please suspend all thinking if you can, and it is the best thing to do. If you can go straight to gratitude and start thanking God for everything in your agonizing moment, it is a great way to break negativity. But if you start lamenting and start mourning your situation and start blaming people, start throwing curses around, you are just sinking in. You are making yourself a victim, and that victimhood, it is difficult to break from. That's where people begin to complain, begin to blame everybody else but them. Once you start blaming people, the capacity for you to see the solution is diminished, because you are seeing the problem in others. You are wishing that in your heart of heart, you are wishing that these people that you are blaming will turn around and do things in the positive light. If they had done some things right, you wouldn't have been where you are now. You see, you are putting your positive power in the hands of external forces. See, it is easier for you to change yourself, because it is just you. The forces that are against you are just turned on one direction, which is your direction. So go to them, not at war, but in a very friendly manner. Ignore them. Go through their midst. Do as if they don't exist and just keep going. Take your focus away from that which is not rewarding, that which is not working, and look at what is working. When you are involved in what they call an accident, a crash, that shock, that moment of shock is a very powerful moment. Please, if you can remember the name of your God and begin to call it at that time, and blank your mind from any thinking, because a negative person, so whether it is stewed in negativity, we only think negative at that time. So stay off negativity and just remember the name of your God and call it. It will help you. So that's it. There is nothing impossible for you to do. It's in your power. It's in your hand. Take it.